I was born with the name Paula. I was actually named after a man named Paul who died in the Spanish War. He was one of the Abraham Lincoln Brigade that went over.
Yeah.
And my father, out of his then communist ardor, decided to name me Paula after Paul. Yes. But I never felt like a Paula. I did, but I always, now this is going to sound very far out.
Oh, I love this.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was 15 years old, standing on a street corner in Manhattan, and I thought, my name really is Maria. So I went to the Motor Vehicle Bureau and just added Paula Maria, and then I gave a big party. Half the people called me Maria, half the people called me Paula. It was a wild party. And ever since then, the name Maria has stuck.
Does the Jewish element run through in all of your books?
Strangely, it does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I sense this, this thread of identity being very rich and important
Yes.
in your books. Is that because of your own life?
I think very much so, or at least partly so. We were raised as rootless people, really. I was Jewish, but I wasn't Jewish. Now you see it, now you don't.
Yeah.
We were very assimilated. So I really hadn't been very aware of being Jewish. And then when I started writing Dark Plums, out of nowhere, a Holocaust survivor emerged in my mind and took over as one of the main characters.
Wow.
So it was there. And then it was a thread in Longing. The Chilean writer keeps bringing up the Jewishness of the girl.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in Incognito, of course, that's the whole theme of who are you? The first translation I did was a novel by George Sand, a classic called Lelia,
classic,
that had
yeah.
been overlooked for over 100 years.
Really?
And first I was annoyed that I couldn't find it in English, so I read it in French. And then I wondered why it had never been translated. So I translated it. And again, the theme was so close to my own work that it drew me.
Identity.
Identity. Lelia was the novel. She's a complex, complete woman. And in the introduction I wrote to the book, I said I thought this was threatening because it was coming up against the whole idea, you know, where were women belonging in society?
Well, she was defined by the man.
Yeah, and Lelia was not defining
No,
herself by men.
No.
So I think this is still relevant. This is
I think so too,
very,
absolutely.
In fact, I come against this all the time in my own books. Death with your wings, plumed and beautiful, you draw near, a great light blinding me. For you, death, are only change. As the water mirrors the sky, so is body to spirit. Death, you draw near, plumed and beautiful, signifying change.
Can you say something about that?
Yes, it's the feeling that I had and still have of not being afraid of dying, that somehow it's a change in dimension, but it's a change. I think I'm afraid of dying before I've finished all the work I want to have
I
done.
feel the same way. I can't go now. I have too much to do.
I'm working on a novel which is going to be published in a year, called Dying Unfinished. It's a novel, a mother-daughter novel, my mother and myself, and it's, I would call it somewhere between fiction and memoir. It's somewhere in that realm, halfway.
But you have a daughter too.
I do, yes.
So would some of that be
she's
triggering something?
No. Possibly, but she's the innocent third generation in the book.
They're running the credits for us.
Oh,
but
yes.
you got the bulk of that out there for them to
Good.
hear. Yeah, they're good. That's a good suggestion.